Sorry.
No, I liked it. It's very human.
I finally humanized myself.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Neal Brennan. I'm off the road for a while, but guys, I'm coming to your TV screens January 18th, Saturday, January 18th at 11:59.
Oh shit.
/midnight.
For what, Neal?
1 hour comedy special
What?
on Comedy Central. Yeah.
Comedy Central special, 1 hour long. What's it called?
Women and Black Dudes.
That doesn't make any sense. If you've been listening to the Champs podcast, you'll know Neal is an
You know
expert
what's
on
stupid
both
about me?
things.
I'm like, why does everyone associate me with black dudes? And then it's like, so people are like, talk to us about the podcast. I'm like, it's only black dudes. And
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's funny. And
An hour-long special.
Hour long, just me on Comedy Central.
Your boy.
And every Sunday night in Santa Monica, my show at 9 o'clock at the Westside Comedy Theater. That's
Well,
it.
of course. Hey, it's Moshe. I will be in La Jolla, California, San Diego, co-headlining with the lovely Natasha Leggero this very weekend, the 10th and 11th.
American hero Natasha Leggero.
True. Comedy hero, now knee comedy hero.
Look her up, guys. Natasha Leggero. Moshe banging her.
It's really great
And
stuff. That's why she's a... Nope. There is no and. That's why she's
That's
a hero.
why she's a hero.
No, yeah, she had a big kerfuffle.
Yep.
And wrote a very well-worded
Perfectly
response
worded.
to such a kerfuffle.
Yeah.
So we will be together in La Jolla, which is the San Diego area, January 10th and 11th at the Comedy Store. January 17th and 18th, I will be in Charleston, South Carolina, as a part of the Charleston Comedy Festival at the Footlight Playhouse. January 24th, San Francisco Sketch Fest. 25th, University of Austin Hillel. And then the 30th through the 1st, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Improv. And there's more. Just look me up, MosheKasher.com. Lots of stuff. Hey, you can get a Champs t-shirt, too. Go
They
there.
ain't getting one.
Oh,
They haven't got one already.
Look, should I explain the context through which this episode is? Let me just get this out of the way. You can edit this out if you don't like it, Neal.
Okay.
Today's guest,
Speak up.
hip-hop impresario, breaking the racial glass ceiling of the Champs once again. It's MC Serch, who you may know from Third Base. And we don't know how long he's going to stay. I had a long conversation with a guy named Somebody Rosen, Jew, trying to get him out of here quickly. He said 45 minutes. So if today's episode is short, you know what? Blame Rosen. Don't blame me.
the Jews.
Nope.
I'm going to blame all Jews.
And if he does leave early, we'll give him the gas face.
What?
Come on.
I don't get it.
You will.
I don't get it.
Tune in.
Now you're fucking with the Champs.
All right, let's.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, Gary's
One,
watching
two.
the clock.
Your side Jew's
Gary,
watching the
Gary,
clock.
do the right thing. Guys, Serch is here.
Yes.
MC Serch.
MC
Serch,
Search.
I mean,
No.
have you
Let's
dropped
just
them on
be
him?
real clear.
Yeah.
On TV, it's Search.
Okay.
No, it's
In the
MC
streets,
Search
though?
all day. It's MC Search all day.
Right.
So if you call me Search for the sake of calling me Search, I might smack both of you.
Oh, no.
It's MC Search.
You
Oh,
introduced-
so we can call you MC Serch?
Please.
It's a real
All right,
booby
good.
trap because you introduced yourself as Serch, so we're going to get smacked for
No.
following your instructions.
I gave you the warning.
Great.
So now the warning's out of the way. Now we're good.
Now we have a podcast.
We're focused now.
No, yeah.
So what we got to let's talk about the talk show. Where did this come from, and how did it come to be?
The talk show came to be.
You have a
right
talk
after-
show syndicated afternoon.
Yeah. Well,
I presume?
right now it's a daytime talk show. It's in 8 markets. Testing right now. We did 20 episodes. Baruch Hashem, it'll be more. Moshe.
Oh, you are a real Jew, man.
Exactly.
I was
Feeling me
expecting,
right
because
now?
I heard these stories about swords and canes and
No,
high
that's
top
Pete
fades
Nice.
and
That's
stuff.
Pete Nice. I got the high top fade. Pete Nice had the canes with the swords in them. So when I did the White Rapper show, a guy named Steve Wall.
One of my favorite. You ever see the White
No,
Rapper show?
no.
It
Moshe.
was.
I mean,
literally.
what am I doing here?
I'm not even fucking around. Before I knew you were coming here 2 days ago, I thought of the White Rapper show just in the middle of the day, just as like fucking. I
and I know what
show.
you thought.
Go.
Ghetto survival, right? Ghetto revival. Hallelujah, holla back. That's what you thought of, right? That's what you think.
I can't explain to you the show. That's
Moshe,
like,
B,
I can't-
really?
It was
Dude,
all.
I
It
mean-
was 15 white rappers
in
living
a house
in a house together
in the South Bronx.
It's called
in the South.
It's
it
called,
was called
My
the White
Junior
Rapper
High.
Show. Ego Trip, the magazine
Did it-
produced
who
it. It was
blew
on
up from it?
VH1.
Nobody.
Nobody.
There was a
Right.
kid named John Brown.
Yeah,
who
John
kinda was
Brown.
doing
Hallelujah,
all right.
holla back.
Yeah, he would say hallelujah, holla back. It was the most 15. There's no one worse than a white rapper. God bless.
Wow.
But honestly, you talk
Word.
No, but you talk
Word be like real Neal, real talk.
No.
Word?
I don't know. I'm not talking about sign. I'm not talking the Beastie Boys, Eminem, and you guys are exempt.
Action Bronson,
Action Bronson is on my list as well.
There's some good people, but hey, you
High and Mighty,
No,
One of your
Means nothing
classic
to me.
clips is
Hill
talking
Bill,
shit.
means nothing to me.
Necro,
Never heard of him.
nonfiction.
Never heard of him.
Wow.
Have you seen him on Arsenio talking about Vanilla Ice way back in the old Arsenio?
Were you
that's you
beefing?
talking shit about the white rapper.
sorry?
You were beefing with Vanilla Ice?
We had a little bit of beef.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He
It's
was
amazing
whack.
TV.
Like he was whack.
You had beef with Yauk, though, right?
Yes.
What was your beef with Yauk? God rest his soul.
No, I don't want to talk about that right
Okay.
now. But
All right.
what I want to say about the Vanilla Ice thing, Neal, is that he was whack. We had to
totally
diss him.
agree.
We had to diss him.
Yeah.
So anyway, 6 years ago, right after the White Rapper show, a guy named Steve Wall sees the show and he's like, "Dude, you should have a talk show."
I don't disagree with
An
him.
amazing dude named Jim Paratori who did People's Court. He did Jenny Jones. He did Ellen.
Yep.
He was just starting the show called TMZ. He's having his own production deal. We had a meeting. He was like, "Dude, let's see what happens." And we did 9 episodes. And the amazing thing was, it was going to go on the air, and they were all like really excited. It's going to happen. It's
When
gonna
was that?
happen.
When was
07.
it? Okay.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, I guess they make the decisions for shows in like July.
Right.
Like I wasn't an industry dude. Like I knew nothing about
Right.
it. They're like,
Please,
"Dude,
please
it's
have
going
a
to happen."
seat. I'm an industry guy. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Well, then you can help me with the knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge me, Neal.
I'm
Knowledge
going
me
to. Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so July, they're like, "Oh, it's going to happen, dude. You got to come to L.A. We're going to have this Critics Week, and they're going to promote the show, yada, 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 yada." I get tickets. I'm ready to go. My wife and I are like, "Oh,
For
Baruch Hashem,
business
it's
class?
going to happen."
Business class?
Did she say Baruch Hashem for real?
My wife did. She's converted twice.
Is that
wow.
true?
Double up?
Yes.
So you converted once, Chantel, and then you deconverted?
No, I converted reform, then I converted conservative.
Oh yeah, you got one more to
My
go.
wife, Chantel.
One more to go for holiness.
Chantel and I would like to tell people she's
By the way,
African-American.
Questlove has a crush on my wife, Chantel.
Of
So I
course,
just-
perfect skin. Your wife has perfect skin.
Yes, she does. So the day that they had to make their decision, they chose this doctor, this
Gave you the
fucked
gas
up
face.
doctor,
Straight
Dr.
up.
Oz.
No.
Fucking guy.
I got dissed. I got the gas face by Dr. Oz, B.
Oh man.
So then he was like, Jim was like, no. This is going. We're going to put it on. Like, and he like bought my second option, bought my third option, and like the money kept going up and
Yeah.
up, and like literally to sit home and chill.
Yeah.
And then the third year, Jim passed away.
Right. I was going to say. I thought,
Jim
yeah.
Paratori passed
Yeah.
away. So the tape kind of died with him.
Got it.
And
He had it buried with him, correct?
Yeah.
He didn't want anybody else to.
right.
He didn't want anyone else
in
to
the
get
cast.
that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
exactly right.
It was weird. It was a fucking,
And that's how the industry works.
It was
Exactly. You know what? The tape is on his tombstone, and if you want to see the tape,
You have to go to his tombstone.
you have to
very
go to his
modern
tombstone. Right.
tombstone.
It's a
Who's
very
got the
it's some
time?
next level shit.
That's
Look,
what
I'm
it
a
is. Great.
huge Serch fan. We'd love to be in the Serch business. I'm not going to a goddamn graveyard to see a goddamn pilot.
This grave has been brought to you by
By Crest.
Crest. I was going to say Crest
White
Vibes. Thank
Neal,
you.
see, it's the comedy in both of us.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
the Jew connection. It's the
so
lyrics.
now you're on in 8 markets. What are the markets?
New York,
Right.
L.A.,
Right.
D.C., and Philly.
Never heard of it.
Right.
Never heard of it.
Miami,
Miami. These are all big
Indy,
markets for
Dallas,
us.
and San Diego.
Great.
No matter how many times you say it, it always goes down smooth. San Diego. Line from Anchorman.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the guy who is his right-hand man goes to CBS and says, we want to give it a shot. And sight unseen, they go in and we get this run. And so far it's been amazing.
So tell us the premise of the whole thing. You're like
Premise is like using my street smarts, using my years of counseling. You know, I'm a Jew, so there's a lot of counseling, marriage counseling, therapy.
You're just
using
you
all
are
that.
granted a doctorate in psychology just by virtue of being
Period.
born
Period.
Jewish.
By married, but yeah.
Exactly. As a Jew, you know that there's therapy.
You've
Our
heard
family-
my joke about how they. This is a horrible joke that you guys may not like, but I like the joke.
Okay.
I would say, Chantel, you'll get with me on this. You know how it
She's
must
a
have
Jew
been
now. She's
easy
on
to
our team.
find Jews during World War II because they were constantly talking about being Jewish.
No, I don't
You
relate
guys,
to that.
no two Jews talk for more than 3 minutes without bringing up like, well, you know how we are.
Even when they're talking about how they're
round
not
them
Jewish.
up.
They're like, oh yeah,
to the camps.
That's exactly right. Straight to the summer camp
Yeah,
for you.
exactly. Well,
So
you know what
I
they
just
do to-
use my street smarts. I use my knowledge. I use this incredible marriage that I've had, ups and downs, and I just.
How,
talk
you guys
to
been
people.
together a long time, right?
23 years.
Yeah.
damn.
20,
Well, now-
25. Well,
25.
25. Well, 23
Wow.
married.
Well, what
Yeah.
were you born? Were you born into like a nice Jewish home? Or are you from?
I was
what's
born
your story?
into the traditional fucked up Jewish home.
Sure.
You know, conservative family, great dad, great mom, but, you know, had the Bickersons. You know, they were
Right.
just, you know, their way of talking was yelling at each other, and their way of loving each other was yelling at each other. And I didn't learn the proper way to be in a marriage, the proper way to.
Do you
kind of
still
cope.
find yourself just snapping into that?
No, I used to, but my wife kind of beat it out of me, and it took a long time of beatings. And
Was
that's
it
your
shame?
secret?
What would you do, Shonda? You would shame him, or you would just sort of like.
Or would you beat him?
Oh, it's just a combination of a little shaming, a little bit.
No, she would say to me literally like,
Well, no, I would kind of, I guess, shaming. Look at yourself.
Look at
she would literally go,
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? Like
Yeah.
that was her line. Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Like, look at yourself. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is not normal.
I'm from the streets, you know. I mean, would that be your response?
No.
I'm not looking at myself for shit. You know what I mean? You look at you.
What are you doing?
I'm
right
doing
now?
what are you
my
doing?
street thing.
Yeah,
My-
that was really nervous. It's making me nervous right
Oh,
now.
your publicist over here who's
Yeah,
like the
my-
most
Yeah, we have
Jewy,
publicists.
straight up yuppie.
He's
Like, what was
shitting
that?
on
That was
you
not
now.
street in any
No,
way. I
no,
mean,
he keeps it real.
Yeah,
he
no,
keeps
I-
it 100. He's so real.
God damn.
So it was really about, you know, understanding like I got to listen to my wife
Right.
and learn from her. And I did. And that's what I bring to the show now.
Is it a lot of marital? It's like squabbles.
It's not. It's just beef. People beef, and they just don't have a way of connecting their beef to fixing the beef.
because you have a reputation not only on the show but in hip hop. Period of helping people squash beef. Right. One of the stories we heard.
Yes.
We would love for you to tell this story.
Okay.
Is the story of Tupac. Somebody was flying from New York. And in the air, you were squashing beef. Do you know what I'm talking
Hold
about?
on. Just got 6 texts in a row from Amir.
From Questlove, who was
Yeah.
very adamant that we have you on the show.
Okay.
Do you not know? Does this not?
I'm
ring
just
a bell to
gonna.
you?
I said, what are the good stories? And he wrote, Michael Concepcion, MC Hammer.
Okay.
Oh, MC
Go.
Hammer, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Go.
So white of you, right
Dude, I'm
now.
from Oakland, man.
Yes,
MC
Tupac
Hammer
was
is
my guy.
Is very near
yeah,
and dear.
I understand. Well, I have a problem with Hammer.
Yeah.
He tried to kill me.
I want to hear this.
Okay, so Third Base has their Product of the Environment release of their single, and we're giving away a Jeep on K-Day. K-Day was
K-Day,
the
the
original
station.
radio station to play hip-hop 24 hours a day.
Right.
AM station in L.A. And we're coming out here for the Cactus.
By the way, that sounds like 1,000 years ago. We were giving away a Jeep on K.
we were
Giving away a Jeep.
Yeah, we were doing a whole sweepstakes. It was crazy. The album was popping. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, Ice Cube said to me that the reason he went to New York to work on America's Most Wanted were the beats on the Cactus album.
Did the Bomb Squad work on that?
No, what happened was Ice Cube was actually in New York waiting for Sam Sever, who was the producer of the majority of the beats on the Cactus album.
Okay.
Sam never showed, but Chuck D did, and said, I'm in Green Street working on this record called Burn Hollywood Burn
Right.
with Big Daddy Kane.
Right.
Why don't you come to the studio? And
Great.
that's how the Bomb Squad linked up with Ice Cube.
Thought about that record last night.
Another
when you
record.
look at bums, slaves and whatever, butlers, maids, slaves,
Right.
it's literally still the only black roles that are available. Butler, and that's what they get nominated for. Like, and the best butler, maid, slave, or hoe this year.
That's at the Source
Goes the
Awards.
Soweto, what's his name? Like, it's all the butler, the slave. It's crazy. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it is. So there's a line on the Cactus, the theme song from the album, that my partner says that is lyrical. And he says, a prickly pear and a stank hoe. The Cactus turned Hammer's mother out. Because his name of his album was Turn This Mother Out.
Right.
So we were saying the Cactus turned Hammer's mother out. He said we were dissing his mom.
I'm with him
So,
on that.
To be fair, yeah.
I'm
Are
with
you
him.
both fucking crazy? That's a dope line. A prickly
I
pear and a
don't
stank
care.
hoe.
It
The
might be a
Cactus
dope line.
turned-
It's still, if I'm Hammer, I still think like I wouldn't go. Well, I'm going to give these white kids the benefit of the doubt.
Go fuck yourself.
It's fine. That's fine.
No. So in the gentlemanly thing to do, he puts a $50,000 hit on us with my conception and the Crips because that's the way to handle it.
He actually and Hammer lost most of his money just on hits.
Right.
Go along.
It's
Go
just
on.
so weird because he's such a square in my imagination.
Right.
In my mind.
No.
He's this
He
pastor buying, helicopters for the Oakland Police Department, and
Right.
here he is like, "Oh, you said one thing about my mom? You're dead."
Okay. So anyway, we're on a plane on our way to L.A. I'm with my wife. We're with all the girlfriends. This is going to be a big special trip. First trip to L.A. Big special trip. And
Giving away a Jeep, for God's sake.
giving away a Jeep.
What
Like,
do you
it's
want?
crazy.
In
It's
my
crazy.
mind, the Jeep was yellow. Go on.
It probably was. And it was a Sahara is what it was. It was a Sahara Jeep. So we get a
Suzuki
call.
Samurai.
Def Jam,
Go ahead.
Carmen Ashurst Watson, who was the president of Def Jam, gets a call from Louis Burrell, Hammer's brother. Is third base on their way to L.A. She goes, yeah, they're going. And he goes, they're fucking dead, and hangs up the phone. So she immediately calls Russell. And she goes, I think we got a problem. I think there's might be a problem with the boys going to L.A. And Russell calls Eric B.
Right.
And Eric B. knows all of the gangsters, all the hoods, and all the guys in L.A. He reaches out and finds out, yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's a hit. And they asked Eric, well, can you help us do something about it? He's like, no, I'm not getting involved. You'll have to figure that out yourself. So they find out that it's with Mike Conception, who at the time ran 50,000 members of the Crips. And they get Mike Conception on the phone. Now, mind you, we're in the air. Like, yay, LA, it's going to be fucking awesome.
What
We're
a lovely,
incredible.
what a lovely lyric that was.
They call
Dope lyric. We're not even thinking. Can I just tell you something? We're not even thinking about the lyric. Like, I was not thinking it was on the Cactus. It was on an album
Right.
cut. It wasn't like, you
Yeah.
know. But we also had the diss in the video with Run DMC dissing the Hammer in the Gas Face.
So you didn't like Hammer
No, Hammer was whack.
from before that.
Hammer was whack. Listen,
Your defense of
Hammer-
this lyric is-
and
is-
let's just be very clear about something. Hammer had a video in the day that he dissed New York, and he said, "Hammer, you ain't hitting in New York." Well, he was like, "Fuck New York." Like, it was '88. You didn't say that about the birthplace of hip hop.
Right.
Things have gone down for that. LA, the whole thing with the Douggpound, that was what it was. East Coast, West Coast, it was what it was.
Right.
We weren't having it. So we had a very creative line. And that's what the line really meant, that we were going to outsell Hammer. He took it the way he took it. Gazan. Jewish?
Very Jewish.
Thank you. We're in the air. We're
You're more
flying.
Jewish than I expected, by the way.
No. I'm mega Jew, B. You're lucky I cut my payas for this interview. So we're in the air, and they're on the phone with Mike Conception, and Mike Conception's like, yeah. He's like, but listen, I'm going to do you a favor. And I know this because I spoke to Mike Conception about this 10 years later in Detroit when he used to come to Detroit. He said, listen, we're not going to kill them. We're just going to break their legs, but you'll still be able to shoot them from the waist up. So they'll still be able to do television and all that, but we're going to break both their legs. We got to do that. And
Give
they
us
have
that.
to. We have to.
We
It's
get
what's right.
They get $15,000 if they break your legs.
Well, no, they still get the 50. So they're like, no, it can't happen. How can we avoid this? And he said, well, I got a couple of things I'm working on that I need help with. I have this project I'm doing called We're All in the Same Gang. We're looking for a label to put out the We're All in the Same Gang record. I have all these rappers on it, but I don't have a label. I need help with that. And I want to sit next to Michael Jackson at the American Music Awards, 1990. They're like, okay, hold on. So they
Hold
called
on. Amir is now calling.
Amir, we're doing
Not in the
an
middle of
interview.
the story.
Of course, in the middle of the story. Keep going.
Okay. So they called Donnie Ienner, who was the chairman of Columbia Records, and said, we need your seats for the American Music Awards. We have to have this guy in a wheelchair sit next to Michael Jackson at the AMAs.
He's in a wheelchair.
He's
this
in a
guy.
wheelchair.
Got
He's
it.
been shot so many times. He was paralyzed from the waist down. So
Which is all he wanted to do to you, by the way.
Right.
He
Right.
just wanted
No,
you.
He wanted
just
nothing
wanted-
worse for you.
keep it 100.
than-
Right.
Speaking of
Exactly.
all in the same gang, he
right.
wanted you in his
do unto
gang.
others as others have done
Yes,
unto
yes.
I've already done to
The
you.
golden rule.
Right. Exactly right.
Michael Golden Rule Concepcion.
Right. So they get him the seats. So now the problem is there's 50,000 members that know that if they touch third base, they get the bounty. And we're now landing.
What is it? A bunch of Crips on like tin cans? Like, well, how does everybody hear?
It's a beeper and a pager system. They got a certain beep and a certain page. And one guy, they had a meeting with all the lieutenants, and lieutenants went out to their guys, and that's how it went down.
Sure.
So we get to L.A., and we're landing. And as soon as we get into the airport, and we're coming out, and this is at the time when people could just come to, there wasn't any security checking. Like, you could just walk to the gate and be like, oh, Steve, you got off the plane. It's wonderful to see you. Let's go to the car.
Oh, MC Serch, I'm going to break your kneecap.
Exactly. Oh, MC Serch. Pop, pop goes your fucking brains. We get covered.
In blue
and
rags.
rushed, and people are like, move, move, move. We got to get him out. And they're rushing us out of the airport into a van.
Who was it?
Security. This guy, Uncle Mel. My man Mel Swint, who I'm still close with to this
Somebody
day.
that you knew?
No.
So you just were greeted at the gate
like,
by some
with
Crips who were like, come with me if you want to live. Oh, got
So
it.
the beef had not really been squashed.
We didn't know anything about the beef.
Okay, but the Michael Concepcion thing, basically they said, we'll get you next to Michael Jackson, we'll put the record out.
Right.
But he hadn't communicated to anybody.
No,
it's
this
off.
all happened in 2 hours.
Got it.
There was no way to get that word out.
Right.
Because there were no phones at that time.
Yeah.
Nobody was carrying cell phones. They were like $1,000 a minute back in the day. So it wasn't, they couldn't communicate that way. So the plane's now coming down, covers, right? And all I'm thinking as I look over is, oh my God, we're bigger than the fucking Beatles. Like, they have to cover us. This is amazing. And they get us in this van. Heads down, keep your heads down. And we're like this. And I'm like, oh my God, we're the fucking Beatles. Like, I think it's amazing. We get to the Hollywood Hyatt. They got a whole floor. Nobody can stay on the floor. They got security at the elevators. I'm like, this is amazing. We are fucking you.
Finally.
Dude, we made it. Honey, this is right? Then all of a sudden, this lieutenant comes up, and they explain what's going on. And this lieutenant comes up, his name Pookie.
Sure, they're all named Pookie,
Aren't
right?
they?
I mean, every gangbanger is named
This
Pookie.
was before it was a joke.
Right.
This was a real
I know
Pookie.
a guy named Pookie. He does the Sunday night show with the Laugh Fighter. Pookie
Same dude.
Wigington.
It might be the same dude.
It could be Pookie Wigington.
So he was
yeah.
lieutenant. And the one thing I noticed is he had all these little mounds on his arms and on his chest, and they were all bullets that are just in his. Anyway, so Pookie comes up, and they're explaining this to me, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is bullshit. Like, come on. And they're like, no, you're not leaving. We're going to go do this. And Uncle Mel is telling me, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I'm like, no.
What
My
was
wife
this?
is with
What
me.
did you have to do?
No, we have to do radio.
Okay,
have
so
to
you
do
are
your
doing
album
it.
release party, and then you're out of Dodge. Like, this is what we're doing. This, and this. And I'm like, fuck that. I want to go to the Beverly Center and take my wife shopping.
By the way, in like 88 through 94, the Beverly Center was the
shit.
coolest fucking place.
Oh my God.
on the
it was
planet.
The building.
You couldn't even believe it was like
the
fucking the
building.
China Club if it was a mall.
Yes, it's exactly what it was. And I wanted to go, and I wanted to take Chantel
At the
there.
risk of your life
I
and your
didn't
wife's
fuck
life.
a risk.
Worth it. Worth it. You weren't
the
there,
Beverly
bro.
Center is
Beverly
that
Center's
good.
well
store
worth it.
itself, the sneaker store itself, B. Moshe, what are you talking about?
Foot Locker,
I'm
first
with
level.
you. I
Go
support
ahead.
you.
Foot Locker.
Foot Locker on the first level.
Thank you.
Hey, you
Thank
guys,
you, Neal.
you know.
Keep it 100, Neal.
Yeah,
Keep it
you know, I
100.
can. That's all I
110 is
have.
what you're keeping.
I wake
keep
up
it
at
like
100.
50.
So
right?
Pookie goes, no, let him go. We'll go. We'll go to Beverly Center. I said, see? We're
Pookie
going.
gets it.
So Pookie, no, we'll go. So I go in the car, and Pookie's with me, and we go to Beverly Center, and there's this giant cutout of the Beverly Center where there's different areas, and there's one big main area. And they're like, yo, Pookie goes, yeah, there's some people that notice you, recognize you. Why don't you go down the escalator, go sign some autographs? I'm like, damn right, I'm going to do that.
Pookie.
Fucking Serch. Going to do that. So I'm going down the aisle, and sure enough, oh my God, it's MC Serch, third base. I love you, man. I'm signing autographs, taking pictures. And I noticed that Chantel was going to follow me, and Pookie's like, no, stay here with me. So I'm like, shit, I'm going to just go do my thing. Fuck it, I'm Serch. I'm doing it. Oh, sorry. Keep the mic up here. Okay. Yeah. So I go to down there, and I start signing autographs, and I'm looking up, and there's some dudes coming at me, and I'm like, cool. I'm signing more autographs, and all of a sudden they're starting to put blue rags around their face, and and I'm noticing dudes behind me, and now they're starting to run at me, and Pookie whistles, he throws up some signals, And they stopped in their tracks.
Damn.
And they pulled it down. And they said, yo, Serch, I'm a big fan. Homie. I'm a big fan, G. Like, I'm sorry I almost had to kill you, B. I'm a big fan. And I was like, oh, my fucking God. This shit is crazy.
That's chilling.
Oh,
This
yeah.
shit is crazy.
That is chilling.
And
I
I went
love
to
the
Pete
idea of
and
them just like going like they might as well like they like briefcases form in their hands, like the blue rags come down and they just like blend into the back.
It was mind-boggling.
It's like a flash mob, but with murder.
Right, exactly. With murder and guts and gore.
It's a really good way to put it.
So I definitely played the hotel close. So the American Music Awards are that night, and if you watch the tape, Mike Conception is sitting right next to Michael Jackson.
I remember that and going, why is that guy sitting with Michael Jackson?
That's so funny.
Okay, so the next day we had to do K-Day to talk about the winning and the award and all that. Greg Mack, Mac Attack, Lisa Canning.
You won the award?
No. I didn't win anything. We weren't even nominated.
Okay.
Hammer won 4 awards that night.
Well.
And Michael Jackson won 7.
Worst Mama, right? He won that award.
He won a ton of
Worst
awards.
taking getting his mother turned out.
So
Worse
we're
than
doing
taking a
this.
joke.
We're doing this interview with Greg Mack, and Greg Mack out of nowhere goes, oh, and we got a special guest on the line, live from winning 4 American Music Awards. It's MC Hammer. And I'm like, this motherfucker set us up. I can't believe it. And Hammer goes, hey, Greg Mack, how you doing? Oh, congratulations, Greg Mack. I know you got some special words for third base, don't you? He's like, yeah, man. I don't really appreciate, y'all dissing my mother. You guys want to do records, but I don't really appreciate you dissing my mother. And I'm like, yo, we didn't diss your matriarchal, but if you think we dissed your matriarchal, why don't you be a man and step up? Stop being a bitch behind other gang members, and why don't you just step up and do what you're supposed to do? You know what you did? You know what you did? You know what you... And he's like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Greg Mack's like, I said, Greg, why don't we go to the callers, see who's better. Let's see who's better. Let's see what L.A. thinks. If they like third base or Hammer better. Let's go to the callers. Since you set this up, you bitch. He's like, hey, watch your language. I'm like, whatever, B. Let's go to the callers. Take a call. And Greg Mack's line 1. Oh, I love third base. I love how Serch dances. Yada. Line 2. I love Hammer. Third base is whack. Them crackers. Line 3. Yo, we love third base. Line 4. We love third base.
Line 5 was Hammer again. So it was like,
It's me, bitch. Love third base, right?
Hammer, sorry.
No, line 6. Rolling 60 Crip. Dude, we coming up there to get you. Rolling 60 Crip. Phone's out. Mel Swit. Let's go. Get out. Grab us. We're getting out. Greg Mack. Fuck you. Hate you. If I see you on the street, I'm punching you in the face. We get out. We get in the van. We're going down. Now, K-Day, you have to remember, was literally on a hill on a dirt mountain. It was an AM little radio station. We're going down the hill, and coming up is a 64 Impala and 5 guys with Mac 11s. 5 guys pop out with Mac 11s. And they pop out, and
Also,
they're
the
running
fact that
up.
they're willing to murder in the morning. That to me is really
there's nothing
says
better.
something.
There's nothing better. Have a cup of coffee, then you go to
you gotta
Fatburn,
murder
you go to
somebody,
Jerry
yeah.
Steiner's. You have a nice
Yeah.
LA day. And then Pookie jumps out, bump, side singles, da-da-da-da-da. Guys go back in the car, they take off.
Damn.
So now the thing that's really crazy is that what Rush did, our management at the time, Leor Cohen and Russell,
Right.
is they sent a guy from L.A. to stay by Mike Conception's side the whole time third base was in L.A. His name is Big D. So Big D goes to the We All in the Same Gang recording session because Russell helps Mike Conception get a deal at Capitol for his record to get put
Right.
out. While he's there recording Eazy-E and all the people for that, Hammer comes in. And Big D, who works for Rush, is standing right next to Hammer and Mike Conception. So Hammer pulls Mike Conception into a room with Big D, because Big D's not leaving,
Right.
and goes to Mike Conception, yo, I don't understand. Why aren't they dead yet? And Mike Conception goes, well,
Good money.
they're not going to die. We're not doing shit to them. And if you don't go in and do your fucking vocals, I'll kill your mother, your father. I'll kill your whole fucking family. Those kids are good money with me. Shut the fuck up. I'll give you your money back. Now go do your fucking verse. And Hammer went in and did his verse.
He called the Bloods first to kill the guy saying that about his mom.
He went and called him to do the verse. So the thing was, the next night was our album release party at the Palace. And Channel 5 was covering it and all this stuff. And we had to literally go into this party pretending to be security. And I'll never forget, I was looking at my wife. She was crying. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was my girl. But I'm looking at Chantel. She's crying. Pete's girlfriend's crying. They're all like, we have to literally go out in Kevlar, pretend we're security, go in with security jackets, walk into the palace, and then take our clothes off and then hang out. And Easy was there, and Dre was there, and DOC was there, and LL gets on the mic and jumps on the mic, and Pookie's running around, and I'm looking at Pookie, and he's running around, and he's whispering to dudes and throwing up signs to dudes all through the party. And there were cars, blue cars, going all around the palace, all around. And again, you're talking about 50,000 gang members.
Yeah.
You can't shut that down in 3
Right.
days. When a call goes out, it's going to take a lot of time
Yeah.
before. So Pookie literally saved our lives. If Pookie wasn't with us, we would be dead. And that's my MC Hammer third base story.
That's a
pretty
damn
good story.
That's a very good story.
Let me see what Amir wants next.
How much time we have, Garrett?
38 seconds?
38 seconds.
Wow, that's very...
So Moshe, tell me about your bar mitzvah. How was that?
Oh, you want to
Was it-
interview me?
Yeah. How was that? Was it good?
My bar mitzvah was very strange. I'm from my family's from Seagate. They live in Seagate,
Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Coney
that's
Island.
where
And
Tony
so-
D was. Tony D from the Bad Boys lived right on Seagate.
Oh, in Seagate?
Yeah, in Seagate.
My family's all like
In the movie?
they're all Hasidic, like real deal.
Oh,
like,
they're the
and
real
my
deal.
mom-
Of course, because you're Moshe.
But my mom split. Oh, there he is. Here's
All right,
Amir.
so we just heard the Mike Concepcion Hammer story. What should we do next? Tupac?
Wait, is it Tupac story?
No, I don't. No. All right, Moshe got confused.
I was just so
Sorry.
excited.
Hey, what up,
Yeah,
Quest?
okay.
Quest, Chantel's here too, by the way, Quest.
It's finished?
Say again.
Wait, it's over?
No. He's only told one story, the Mike Concepcion story. What would be the second place story to you?
No, dude, he has so many stories. He discovered Nas. He has crazy Nas stories.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead. Tell us your Nas story.
By the way, Chantel says hello, Quest.
And you know when Jay-Z dropped that line about, like, I only played Serch when I published it, he's talking about MC Serch.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Repeat it,
that.
because that's not going to come through.
All right, Amir, we'll call you back. Thank you for your service. He's talking about Nas, the Jay-Z dissing Nas song.
Well, it wasn't really dissing. Here's the thing, okay?
You talk about discovering Nas.
Okay, so I didn't. Let's be very clear.
Okay.
About this. I didn't discover Nas. Lodge
Okay.
Professor discovered Nas.
Right.
He was on Main Source's album Live at the Barbecue.
Yes.
Nas comes to see me in the studio when I was working on my solo album and asked me to help him because he was getting a deal at Big Beat that he didn't think was fair.
Right.
And he felt his lawyer was pushing him into doing this deal.
And was it like god awful?
It was a pretty bad deal. Craig
Right.
Kalman, who was the president of Big Beat, wanted to give him $150,000 to take half his publishing.
Right.
And it was a 1992 record
Yeah.
deal for a black artist.
Right.
And I was like, I'm sitting in front of probably the greatest MC of all time. You're not going to diss him. And the problem
You
was,
already thought he was just based on the
would I-
barbecue.
Streets disciple, my rap's a trifle. I shoot slugs from my brain just like a rifle. Stampede the stage. I leave the microphone split. Play pretty toughy while I'm on some pretty tone shit. Murder assassin, my architect pleases. When I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. Nasty Nas is a rebel to America. Police murderer, I'm causing hysteria. My troops roll up with a strange force. I was locked in a cage and let out by the main source.
Can't touch this. Oh, no.
I mean, that verse in New York was biblical.
Yeah.
Disciple, my rap's a trifle. I shoot slugs from my brain just like a rifle. Stampede the stage, I leave the microphone split. Play Mr. Tuffy while I'm on some pretty tone shit. Verbal assassin, my architect pleases. When I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. Nasty Nas is a rebel to America. Police murderer, I'm causing hysteria. My troops roll up with a strange force. I was trapped in a cage and lit out.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
sick. When I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that Illmatic is and continues to be the
But
most.
that Breaking Adams album, Main Source, is probably one of the most underrated. Up there with OC Word Life is one of the most underrated hip hop albums of all time. So Nas is here and he wants my help. The problem is I know the guys at Big Beat that are trying to sign him. So I go to Big Beat first, and I go to my man Reef, and I go to my man Stretch Armstrong. I said, look,
Right.
he's signed a Searchlight now. He can't sign this deal. Let's do a fair deal. Let's make a fair deal, an honest deal.
Oh, so
Let's not-
you gave him a publishing deal.
No. I'll get to that.
Sorry.
You must have
I'll
been
get to
every
that.
rapper's wet dream. They're like, he's a rapper and he's a Jew. He can take care of all of us. He'll protect us all.
The problem was the Jews weren't protecting the black artists in those days.
Right. Well, that's
Morris
what I'm saying.
Levy,
It's
they
not
were
like
on
their
now.
side. That's what I
It's
mean.
not like now. No.
The Jews go out of their
charitable
way to take care of the black.
Oh, the Jews are so polite. So I said, we can't. And they're like, look, Serch, don't get involved in this. I'm like, I'm involved. Like, but you're giving him a foul deal. Like, you can't expect the greatest MC of our generation to sign a $150,000 deal and take half his publishing. He's like, but look, that's the deal. So I went across the street. I went to see my dear friend Faith Newman, who also worked on my Third Base album. Yes. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Chantal.
That's funny.
No.
Look
She's
at yourself. First you went to Russell.
Right. Look at yourself. Thank you, baby. So then I went to Russell. And Russell said, famous line, he said, Nas sounds like G-Rap, and G-Rap don't sell no records, so Nas will never sell any records. So I'm not interested in signing Nas.
Yeah.
That sounds like
So I said-
Mitzi at the comedy
that's
store.
So I said, fine. So then I went to my friend Faith Newman, and Faith Newman literally brought in the head of A&R, and we said, what kind of deal do you want for Nas? You're not leaving here until we make a deal. And I said, I want as many points as Billy Joel has right now, and I want $250,000 with a $50,000 advance, unrecoupable. And they're like, well, Billy Joel has 23 points an album.
Right.
I said, well, that's how many points
And
Nas is
probably
gonna
retail
get.
points, right?
Right, retail
Yeah.
points. So, yeah, so it's like 40% of what you make on an album.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can't do that. And I said, then you're not signing Nas, and I'll find the deal for him.
Right.
And they were like, no. So Nas was set. So when the publishing came around, I went to Zamba, and I said, I don't want Nas's publishing. I want to administer his publishing.
Right.
How much
But-
money
and
will
which
you
there's
give me?
money to be made on that as well.
Yeah, but it's a small. It's
right.
a small. It's
It's a
pittance.
service, yeah.
But what it is, it's long-term ancillary income.
Yeah.
So you'll have that for the rest of your life, and it's not big checks, 3,000 here, 5,000
Right.
here, but it's for life.
Yeah.
It's for life. So I went and got him $250,000 in cash. Right. So in 2 days,
literally in cash.
in cash. So in 2 days, I got Nas about $500,000 in 1992, and I got him 23 points, and he recouped from his album Illmatic, which sold 700,000 copies. He recouped at 100,000 records, so he
Right.
was set.
Great.
So my favorite story about Nas is when we did the second album. He always wanted a label called Ill Will, named after
He
his
only sold 600,000.
600,000. Now it's up to 2.5 million.
Yeah, I was
or
gonna
now it's
say.
like 3.5 million.
If anyone knows, it'd be Searchlight Publishing. Go
Searchlight
ahead.
Publishing. So anyway, so Nas's next album, we do the deal. We do Ill Will Records. I get him. I back out. I just executive produce the album. I get him what he wants. I set him up. And about 5 years later, Jay-Z comes to me and says, listen, I'm doing this album. I want to use, I want presidents to represent me and dead
Right.
presidents. And I said, okay, cool. We'll make a deal that's fair.
Right.
You know, so I went to Nas's publishing company, Zamba. And I said, listen, this is going to come through the table. Don't rake them over the coals. I already
Right.
told them. And like, I think we made the deal for like $2,000, and Nas retained 5% overall ownership of the record, controlled copyright for the
Right.
for the sample, which is fair.
Right.
It's fair and just
Just
deal.
that track.
Right. But I did the deal with Jay-Z. So when the Jay-Z beef started happening,
Right.
he said, you were getting fucked then. I know who I paid, got Searchlight Publishing.
Yeah.
First of all, the company was called Schematics. It's not called Searchlight Publishing.
Right.
I just opened Searchlight Publishing this year. I just did a joint venture with BMG and opened an official Searchlight Publishing. Signed Bodie James. I
So
signed a
how
bunch
did
of-
Jay-Z come up with that?
That's what he just came up with. He thought it was because I'm Search and my company was Searchlight. He came up with Searchlight Publishing. But the
Did
truth-
you have a company called Searchlight at any
Now,
point?
yes, I did.
Back then
Searchlight
you did?
Music and Searchlight
Okay. All right.
Productions.
Good. All right.
Right. It's been
Yeah.
Searchlight since like 93.
Got it.
And that's what I signed Nas to, was to Searchlight Productions.
Right.
So he knew the company was called Searchlight.
Got
and
it.
that's where the story comes with the Nas and the Searchlight Publishing.
Very good. That was
All right.
too inside baseball for Moshe.
Gary, how we doing?
Don't ask. Just
got the other Jew.
We're plowing through.
Yeah.
We're plowing through. Any stories from the Latin Quarter?
Wow, he really wants me to go deep. Yes, I have. So the Latin Quarter was a famous club in New York, and a lot of artists were discovered there. Public Enemy turned their whole career around on a Thursday night doing Rebel Without a Pause at the Latin Quarter. The first time the South Bronx was ever played, DJ Raul played it at the Latin Quarter. Like, that's where you went. That
Right.
was the spot, period, in New York.
Right.
There was no other spot. Union Square came later. Rooftop was uptown. SNS was the after spot. But Friday and Saturday night, you were at the Latin Quarter, and then it moved to Thursday.
And you were there. How old are you in the these days?
I am 21,
And
22.
are you-
No, that's not true.
Chantel's.
Yeah, I'm 19. Yeah, I'm 19.
Are you the
18.
first? Are you the first white dude in hip hop?
No, the first white rapper is a guy named Vanilla B, a.k.a. Lord Scotch, a.k.a. Keo, a.k.a. Blake Latham.
Oh,
He
I
had
know
a problem with
Blake.
branding.
Right. Blake has a problem with branding, but he is officially the first white MC ever in hip-hop.
And was he whack?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
He got
whack.
mad even with you suggesting asking.
Never
No,
heard of the guy.
No, he's dope.
All right,
He's
good.
still dope.
Okay.
But for him, hip-hop wasn't about making records. It was about rhyming.
Right.
He's a purist that way. He still rhymes and has incredible lyrical skill. Like he literally could have been probably the greatest, probably top 5 greatest MCs of all time.
Let me ask you: is Nas still great? Is he grateful to you for taking care of him?
I don't know. We
You
never
don't-
really
you don't-
talk about it. You know, it's funny. Nas and I have a very strange relationship. It's very bizarre. He considers me a brother, but we don't talk. I'll ask him to do shit for me. He won't do it.
Right.
But he loves me like a brother. It's very bizarre. Like, I don't think he realizes the depth of what I did because I did it when he was so young,
Right.
you know? But he's so big in branding and doing what he does now, you know, with Rock the Bells, being involved in
Right.
Rock the Bells and owning that, and now being involved in Mass Appeal and owning that label. Like, you know, he's ventured out and did his
Doing the
own,
voiceover
you know,
for Hennessy.
Right.
Is that
He's the
right?
yeah. He's the brand ambassador for Hennessy. He just did a huge deal with them. So, you know, we have a very strange relationship. I would call it a solid
Because
relationship.
23 points, be clear, is a lot of points.
It is.
And the fact that you
And
dropped
shout out
Billy
to Faith
Joel's-
Newman, but shout out to Faith Newman, who had the balls to fight for 23 points.
Right.
You know, to ask for it is one thing.
Right.
For the label to say it's worth it to do this is another.
Did
And it
you
set a
guys
precedent.
did Third Base ever have 23 points?
I've never seen a royalty check for Third Base.
Wow.
I've never seen a publishing check from Third Base. I got fucked. My deal was $150,000 and half my publishing, and I never saw where the other half went.
So
Here's the thing: I love Russell and Lior and hate
Yeah.
them at the same time. Because
Right.
if it wasn't for Russell and Lior, there'd be no Third Base.
Right.
But I never made a penny off Third Base. I made money off the MC Serch solo album. I made money
On a
as
different label?
MC Serch. No, it was on Def Jam. I made money as MC Serch, the person
Right.
and the personality who had the credibility from being on Def Jam
Right.
and building my own brand. But I never saw a Third Base check. Never.
and they did it with everybody, right?
I don't know if they did it with everybody. I think Chuck D had a real good deal and
Got
was
it.
very smart about how he went back. He filed a class action suit for all of us that we won, and we all got some money.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we all got something. Not a lot, but we got something. But he filed a class action suit on behalf of all the artists signed from 1986 to 1994.
Got it. Because
So-
the Beastie Boys had to buy their way out too,
Yes,
right?
that's exactly right.
Um,
Capital had to get to buy them out.
have you heard the thing? I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before. I believe the Beastie Boys bought back Fight for Your Right to Party.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
Beastie Boys
In
bought
2000
back Fight for Your Right to Party so that they could bury it forever. So
Right.
that you literally can't get
Hear
it
it. Right.
for shit.
They're
Right.
very anti-brand. That's
Actually,
their whole thing.
MCA, God bless the dead, in
Yeah.
his will says
Yes.
that you can never use BC Boy Records for any exploitation of commercialization of any product.
Did you hear about the little girls
Yeah,
venture?
they had that, yeah.
That little toy venture or
Yeah.
whatever. It was very interesting because they
Yeah.
were clearly torn, but they were like, we just don't do that.
Right.
Yeah. I was kind of almost on the toy company side.
Really?
Almost.
I mean, why? You can't.
Because it's like educational and it's for girls and they're making fun of the song. Like I get it was a parody,
But the point is,
I
this-
get. I knew Adam. Like
Right.
I know those guys. Like, but I'm saying like part of it was like
You can't just. I thought that was the cheat of the whole thing. Is they were going, "What are you going to do? We're just trying to help."
No,
little
it
girls.
was
Oh, you're gonna
good that
take this
they.
away?
I'm glad that they took it down.
No, they had to listen. The line is definitely drawn in the sand
Yeah.
in concrete.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to do it, even if it's
Yeah.
positive.
So they had to
we're not
pay
gonna do it.
millions of dollars
Right, to bury a
to
song.
Russell. Just
bury a
give
song.
us the song.
Crazy.
You
Yeah.
can. No one will ever license it and never be in a
I'll
movie.
tell you,
never-
here's another great story. This is a news story that no one's ever heard. I'm going to say it here.
Oh, Amir's got
Okay.
it. Amir's.
So-
Hold on. Wait for Amir to get his erection.
He's got to go grab lotion.
Okay, go
ahead.
And
ahead.
now, okay. we're on the road in the South. Now, when you were an East Coast artist and did a tour in the
Right.
South, you had to tour with South artists. You had to. There was no way to survive because they didn't give a fuck about East Coast rappers. So we're on the road, and we're on the road. This is when Pop Goes the Weasel's out and Derelicts is out. We're on the road, and we're opening for the Ghetto Boys. Huge. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, just every record off that first album is just banging in
So
New Orleans.
good.
So we're outside of New Orleans, about an hour, Baton Rouge, and we do the show, have a great show, and I get a knock on my hotel door, and we got about 12 hours. I think it was like 12 or 16 hours before we had to leave for our next city. So Bushwick went, yo, Serch, Bushwick, come with me to New Orleans. I want you to meet my wife and kids. I got my brother with me. I got the limo. You just come with me. There's a cool club in New Orleans. It's really cool. We'll just come hang out. It'll be amazing. When we going to be back?
It's like midnight.
No, it's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
We did an afternoon show.
Oh, got it. All right.
Be fine. We'll be back in plenty of time for the buses. Sure. Sounds like fun. Get in the limo. Go in. His brother's sitting down, normal size. And Bushwick is standing on the seat. And he's standing there drinking a bottle of Hennessy. So we're driving with this driver, and the driver's real country. Got a white cowboy hat, got the mustache, the goatee. And he's like, whatever, dude. You're just paying me, right? And fine. So Bushwick is talking biblical verses.
He's a deep guy, actually.
I know.
Bushwick.
I mean, he's talking about he's got the Bible out. He's reciting verses to me, and I'm trying to make me understand why black people love third base so much, because it's in the scripture that we should love everyone and treat everyone equally. And the thing that I can't get past is, okay, he's standing on the seat and his head is not hitting the roof. Like, that's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, Bushwick is standing in a seat. This is unbelievable.
When he got tired, he would ride the bottle of Hennessy, right?
Right.
He would just
Bottle
sort of
in one hand,
stride it.
Bible in the other.
Yeah,
right.
he would just
And
like
his
sort of-
brother's like, preach, Bushwick, preach. You know, he's now sideman. So we pull up to Bushwick's baby mama's house in New Orleans, and it's pitch dark. It's on this really quiet cul-de-sac in a really, really nice neighborhood in New Orleans. And we're going to this club called Peaches, which does a comedy / hip hop night every, I think it was Thursday night. So we get out, and as soon as the limo comes, all these little dwarf kids in diapers start running towards the car. Daddy, 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 daddy. 3 of them. 3 little dwarf kids in diapers. I'm like,
They're definitely yours.
Yeah. Big ass head,
not the
little ass
father.
body, right? And his baby mama comes out, and she's pregnant,
Right.
and they're all happy to see him.
She's
They're like-
regular size?
She's regular size. So we go into the house, and I start to notice that there's a bay window right by the window that's boarded up, or at least halfway. And his baby mother's mother is there, and she says hello, and she's really stoic, really straight faced. And I look to my right, and there's about 17 or 18 keys of cocaine on the windowsill, on the bay, all wrapped up, bundled, ready to go. And I'm automatically like, we need to get the fuck out of this house. Like,
Yeah.
And Bill's like, nah, we good. We're gonna have dinner. We're gonna sit in dinner. I'm like, yeah, Bill, you know what? We should really get to the club. You know, let's. You know, he's like, all right, my baby mama needs to get dressed. You know, she's gonna come with us to the club and yada yada yada. And I'm talking to Bill's mother, baby mother's mother, real quick. And I'm like, so happy to see Bill. You know, you glad he's back? And she's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. That's about the length of that conversation. It's all good. So Bill comes out, baby mama comes out, we leave. And they're so happy to see each other. And we're driving over to Peaches. And his brother's now just as drunk as Bill is. They're both pretty inebriated. We get into Peaches and we're hanging out, and there's a great band, and we're chilling, we're dancing. Me and Bill are having a great time. He's like, get on the mic, Serch, yo, rap a little, freestyle a little, get on the mic with the band. So I get on the mic with the band, we're having a great old time, yada, 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 all of this. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning now, 3 o'clock in the morning. We got to get back because the buses are leaving at 6. So we get out, and Bill's brother's like, yo, can you drop me off at Burger King? And Bill's Bill's like, why do we need to drop you off at Burger King? Yo, I met some females, man. We're gonna hang out. You know, we're gonna hang out. Just drop me off at Burger King, Bill. I'm not gonna be no problem. I just want to go to Burger King. And Bill's like, I'm not dropping you off at fucking Burger King. This is my motherfucking limo. I ain't dropping you off nowhere. Nah, you don't understand. It's right. And Bill goes, hold up. Pull the fucking limo over. So we pull over next to this abandoned mall, like this giant mall. It's pitch black. And Bill's like, get the fuck out my limo. And his brother's like, nah, you don't understand, man. I just want to go. Nah, you need to get the fuck out my limo. And Bill kicks the door open, and Bill's brother gets out, and now Bill gets out. And
he opened the door with his teeth, right? Bushwick Bill.
Bill's like trying to, and he's like, "Yo, you're an ungrateful piece of shit. You know, I took you out. I bought you drinks. I did it." And his brother's like, "Yo, please, Bill. It's not even a problem. Like, and just as he's about to say the Burger King is right over there, Bill picks up a brick and throws it at his brother and cracks his skull open.
Jesus.
And blood starts coming down. He's leaking. All of a sudden, Bill's brother goes into a kung fu pose and goes, and starts to try to kick Bill. And Bill's running with his little midget legs and chasing him around the limo. And he jumps into the limo and he's leaking. He's bleeding. And there's a little partition. The partition's open and the driver's there. And he jumps through the partition. And Bill's brother's trying to get through the partition. Bushwick's trying to get through the partition. His little legs doing like scrambling back and forth. He grabs him, and the baby mama who's pregnant, don't hurt my baby. Don't hurt my baby. She grabs the brother, and they're starting to tussle, and he kicks the baby mama, like kicks her off. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I notice that right over there is the Burger King. So I start running over to the Burger King, figuring if I can get the girls to get Bill's brother to the hospital, this will all be quiet. This will all be done, right? Well, it turns out that while I'm going over there and I'm running like top speed, Bill is now pleading with his brother not to kill him. He's like begging him not to kill him. And his brother's like ready to smash his head with a fucking brick. And I'm hearing this and I'm running to the Burger King and I'm trying to get these girls to come back, pick up Bill's brother. And the promoter of the club is there and he's trying to kick it to the females. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, yo, ladies, Bill's brother's over here. He's like, nah, you don't want these bitches. Fuck these bitches. These bitches ain't shit. I'm like, yo, dude, do me a favor. Just relax. Like, ladies, he's right over here. He was trying to come. Nah, fuck that. Nobody's calling me a bitch. Nobody's going to call me out. Ladies, Bill's brother didn't call you a bitch. This crazy motherfucker did. Like, yo, don't worry about this crazy mother. Who you calling crazy mother? Fuck you. Like, I got a situation. Yeah. Bill, please, Bill. Right? I'm going to fucking kill you. Oh, baby mama, my stomach. I'm hearing all of this shit, right?
Yeah.
The girls take off. And now I'm trudging back to the fucking car. I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. What am I? I'm in the middle of New Orleans at 3:00 in the morning. There's going to be a murder. Like somebody's going to get killed. There's a guy bleeding out his fucking face. There's a baby mom on the floor crying, and Bill is pleading for his life. So I'm walking over there.
That's when you unleash the greatest white rap of all time. And bring the people together.
So the promoter now comes over to me. He's like, nah, you didn't want those bitches. And I'm like, yo, do me a favor. Get the fuck away from me. Like, get the fuck away from me. You don't even know what's going on, B. Like,
right.
So he takes off. And about 30 seconds later, just as I'm walking up to the limo, a K car pulls up. One of those old Plymouth K cars.
Yeah.
And it's Bill's baby mother's mother. And she goes, where's Bill? Where's Bill's brother? And I said, nah, he's over by the limo. And she pulls out a Mac 11. And she goes, he's a dead motherfucker.
Damn.
And she pulls it out the window and starts driving one hand. Just as this is happening, the cops come. So she does a quick U-turn and bails the fuck out. Bill is on his knees pleading for his life. And his brother's, he's about to bash him in the fucking skull with this brick.
Bill's on his knees, so that means he's flat on the ground.
He's flat on the ground, right? And the cops come, and they say, what's going on? And Bill all of a sudden becomes tough guy. He assaulted me. Throw him in the fucking jail. Throw him in. My brother tried to kill me. Throw him in the fucking jail. So New Orleans cops, they don't need a reason.
Yeah.
They grab up Bill's brother, and he's bleeding like profuse, and they grab him up. And they handcuff him because he's Bushwick Bill, and they at least know who he is.
Right.
And they put him in the back of the cop car. And the baby mother's like, oh, and he kicked me in my stomach, and I'm pregnant, and and this and this. And they put him in the car, and they cracked the window just a little bit. And the reason I remember this is really important. They cracked the window. Bill is jumping to try to get to the crack to spit on his brother. And he can't reach it, so he's just spitting on the window. And he can't make it, right? We finally get back in the car, in the limo. It's now about 4 o'clock in the morning. We're about 90 minutes away from getting in the car. We drop off Bill's baby mama. It's me and Bill in the car. And we get into a deserted area of highway, and the limo pulls over.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay, this is not good. And the hillbilly that was driving the car pulls down the partition and pulls out a Colt 45 and goes, see this hat? It was his white cowboy hat that his wife gave him. And when the whole tussle went on, Bill squashed the hat. And he said,
the only thing he was physically capable of squashing.
my wife bought me that hat. Y'all motherfuckers going to give me the money for that hat, or I'm going to blow both your motherfuckers' ass away.
Whoa.
And
you're like, fuck you and your hat, motherfucker.
And I'm like, okay, Bill, how much is the hat? Like $200. I gave him $100. Bill gave him $100. And I never hung out with Bushwick Bill ever again. I
don't see why not.
Yeah, you seem like a rash person for that decision.
One more question, Gary. It's not about hip hop. It's about how did you learn to do you think performing for black audiences is different than performing for white audiences?
Yes.
And walk us through your
It's very simple, and it's a very simple, and this is a 1990s thing, not a 2014 thing, because I think it's different now. I think when I was performing for white audiences, they were white frat boys.
Right.
They really didn't care what we were saying.
Did you resent frat boys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right.
I wanted to perform for black audiences.
Right.
I was making black music. I was allowed to be around black people who showed me love and showed me this culture and gave me the permission to make the music. And I wanted to perform for black audiences. And when Pop Goes the Weasel went pop and those black audiences became white frat boys, I had a problem. Like, guys would try to stage dive off of our stages, and we would grab them and body slam them. Like, yo, get the fuck off our stage.
Right.
The fuck you doing? Get that shit out of here.
Right.
They're like, no, it's a party. Like, no, it's not.
No, dude. Oh.
Dude, it's not a party, dude. Get the fuck off the stage. Like, fuck all that. Like, we're a rap group. We're not some fucking rock group. What the fuck are you doing? Black audiences love the culture. White audiences like that the music can let them party.
That's
interesting. Yeah.
Do you understand the difference?
Yeah, that's interesting.
When
they have an investment, a black audience.
Oh,
has
they're
an investment
so vested. They're vested in the art. When they go to see the artist, they know what the artist is wearing. They know what the artist is doing the day before. They're vested in the artist's life. White artists, they just want to party. If the record's a hit, they just want to party. They're not vested. Now, in 2014, that's different. The white audiences now are more vested than the black audiences. I find that white audiences that are Action Bronson fans, that are Joey Badass fans, that are Mac Miller, they are vested. Social media has gotten these artists vested.
Right.
Black audiences are into the lifestyle. And what is permeating from the music is the lifestyle. It's done a 180. And if I was performing now, I would probably not have a problem performing in front of anybody. And mind you, we performed in front of Wembley, 110,000 white people with Public Enemy, but we also performed in Brixton where it was 3,500 black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no difference there. And when you do shows in Europe, they are vested. Like, those white audiences are vested in culture. They're vested. They're not there to party. They're there to be a part of a cultural experience.
All right. Last question, Gary. Here we go. How did you come from the family that you were born into, this Jewish world where the idea of a white hip-hopper wasn't even fully formulated, into becoming MC Serch? And then how did that, and you're going to like this, Gary, how did those experiences bring you into where you're at today with this television show?
And did you feel like a interloper Did you feel like you were doing minstrelsy when you were?
No.
Okay.
Well, let me answer that first,
Yeah.
and then I'll answer that.
All right.
When I was lucky enough that when I got off the train at 135th and Convent Avenue to go to the High School of Music and Art my freshman year.
From the Bronx?
From Far Rockaway, Queens.
Oh, fuck. That's a
From
long-ass
Queens.
way.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 22 minutes. When I got off the train and went down to the lunchroom the first time and saw Dana Dane, saw Slick Rick and their original group, the Kango Crew, and saw Dougie Fresh and Jay Cool from the Fresh 3 MCs and Vanilla B, and watching them all in a cipher and the original Peter Gunn and the original,
They were just at your school?
They were at my school.
Did they go to your school?
Yes. They went
Oh,
to
did
my
they
school.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
so you got off the train like a little Jewish kid and
Right.
then had your brain cracked open. Your psyche broke open by
Crazy.
that group.
And you got to understand something. My friends, when I was in 8th grade at IS 53, they'd be like, yo, you got to hear this funky fresh tape that I got from my cousin in the Bronx. He was at this park jam and heard this Kango Crew. They got this little thing they do called Lottie Dottie, and we would put the cassette in, and it was like a 4th generation, so it was barely legible, but we could hear Lottie Dottie. We like to party. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just some men that's on a mic in like 1980.
Right.
And then I go to Music and Art, and they're doing Lottie Dottie, and I'm like, holy shit, that is fresh. That is funky fresh in the flesh. Like that is really fresh. And I was like,
This is in 1980?
this is 1980.
I love it. I mean, New York
So-
in 1980 was like the Middle Ages. It was like fucking crazy. The fact that you rode the train for 2.5. Literally, I could, if you got in a time machine, I'd pay to not ride the train
And I wrote it every
for
day
2
4
hours.
years. For 4 years.
For 2 hours in 1980. It's
Yeah.
like the Warriors.
yeah,
It
totally.
really
Right.
was. It really was. But people just didn't bother me. I don't know. I got jumped 3 times in 4 years. One time really bad. A guy hit me in the face with a lucite cane.
But that was
Yeah, but that was out of
Bushwick
love.
Bill.
That was love. It was really a love thing.
Brother, I found you.
But I was engulfed in the culture. Like Jake Cool from the Fresh 3 MCs was doing FRESH, fresh, yo, that's fresh. Like in front of me before it was on profile.
Right.
Like before it ever came out in 1984. Like I knew everything. I knew the words of Lottie Dottie so much that I did them.
Right.
I used to impress girls in 82 and 83, like claiming they were my verses.
Right.
When the record came out in 85, I was in McDonald's in Lynbrook, and some girl was like, oh my God, that's Ricky D. And they turned around and were like, where? Like the white kid right there, that's his rhyme. I heard him do it 3 years ago. I'm like, fuck, I'm a biter, leave me alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was engulfed in it. So when I told my mom I wanted to be a rapper, she was like, what do you mean? You're going to wrap gifts at Macy's? Like, that's not a living. That's not a career. Like, what are you talking about? And they supported me. My parents supported me in my endeavor.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I'm saying? They supported me in this culture that I wanted to be a part of. And they let me treat my parents' house like a hotel where I was out 3, 4, 5 nights a week, just like literally showering, eating, and leaving to go and be a part of this culture. And it was definitely like not a, like for me, it wasn't.
And people didn't resent you?
No, there was so much love that was given to me. Daddy-O used to do a thing from Stetsasonic, like, I want to show you my son. And they'd put on I Know You Got Soul, and I'd come out and do the Running Man. I'd come out and go, you know, Tony D, who had a big record at the time with Bad Boys, Inspector Gadget, he was my DJ at the time. And he'd be like, yo, and I'd do this thing on stage. I go, yo, I hear a lot of people saying something. I don't understand what they're saying to me. Like, Tony, you know what I'm talking about? He's like, yeah, they're saying you white boy. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. If y'all see a white boy on stage, somebody say, white motherfucker. And the whole crowd will go, white motherfucker. Say white motherfucker. White motherfucker. And I start dancing. They're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And I'd start rhyming, oh my God. It was crazy. You know, and then I could rhyme off the top of my head.
Folks.
I met Chantel in 88, 89.
Wow. So the
88.
whole time.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's been with me from the door.
Well, what's funny is, so it happened in 80, and then this is like how long show business takes. It still took you fucking 8 years.
People don't realize it took us. The Cactus album took 2.5 years to come out. We recorded it in
was
87.
done?
Yeah. Album was done except for 2 songs. 7 to the AM and Oval Office. That album was done, and Gasface. 7 to the AM, Gasface, and Oval Office were the 3 records that weren't done. Those were the newest records that we did. That album was almost 2 years old when we put it out.
So the second half of the question is where's the link to who you are today? And
I think that I was always the guy that searched for the answers. That's how I got my name. Like, people always ask me, why you keep searching for the answers?
Right.
Like, I was watching my friends go from being Julius Johnson to Lord Amar Umakwa, understanding knowledge,
Right.
going
Times
to fight.
10.
And I want to know, like, how do you, and that's how I got my name. And I was the guy that on tour, like with Tupac and with Shock G, like they would come to me and ask me like for their.
You were on tour with those guys?
Oh yeah.
Gary?
We used to freestyle every night. Shock G would get on the piano, and me and Tupac would, in every city, we'd find a piano and we freestyle till like 4:00 in the morning.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you got along with Pac, and he was.
Oh
nice
yeah.
and-
We hung out with him all the time. Chantel we would hang out with him, and yeah.
So now you're
Yeah.
helping other people find the answers on this new
Yeah,
show.
and that's what it's
Cool.
about. It's like at the end of the day, it's like I want to use all this knowledge that I've accumulated, because the show is really based on the 4 tenets of hip hop. The 4 tenets of hip hop are peace, unity, love, and having fun. You know what I'm saying? That's what hip hop is really about. It's not just the emceeing, the DJing, the beatboxing, the turntable. It's not all of that. When the Zulu Nation founded and created hip hop, was based on peace, unity, love, and having fun. And that's what my show is really about at the end of the day. Because I want people to be peaceful to each other, and peaceful to the people that they love. I want them to have love, know how to give love, receive love, feel love, and feel real love. Not loves with buts, and not loves or, but real love. I want them to have unity.
There was no mention of hoes.
No, there was no hoes.
That
we
came
didn't
later.
Interesting.
we didn't treat women like hoes. In fact, it's funny. My wife and I are trying to work on a documentary.
Do you guys
about-
have kids, by the way?
Yes, we have 3. 19, 17, and 16.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you have adults.
And where do you guys live?
We live in Orlando.
Do you really?
Mhm.
That's why
Yeah.
Orlando?
We love it down there.
Let him finish his pillars pitch.
Sorry.
No, but it's just because I want everybody to have unity, and I want the show. It's about having fun. It's about, look, conflict. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch people have beef, but it's not fun to have conflict for the sake of conflict. What's fun is that, okay, you get it out. It looks kind of ratchet, but you get to the core of the problem, and then we move forward. That's the thing that makes it all worthwhile. That's the thing that makes it great.
Mixed kids, are they?
They're African American, Puerto Rican, Polish, Jewish kids.
And what do you tell them?
I tell them to be themselves
Got
and
it.
listen to their mom. That's what I really tell. I mean,
And if they
Listen,
get
Do
out
they
of
look?
pocket,
Do they look black? Do they look mixed?
they
Do
look mixed, and thank God they all look like their mother.
and if they get out of
Perfect
pocket, you
skin.
just say, "Look at yourself."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I would watch that show. Where do we find it again?
New York, L.A., Miami, D.C., Philly, Indy, and Dallas, and San Diego.
on CBS.
No, it's on Tribune stations. You got to check your local list.
like Channel 9.
KTLA
Yeah.
5 and PIX 11.
You're a good dude. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
I'm so happy, and shout out to Quest for bothering me for 2 years to do this. He's been
Yeah.
harassing me for 2 years.
he'll
to do
be
this.
excited about the Bushwick Bill story. All right,
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks.
peace.
Thanks.
fat when I mush the grill. Back at how you flip a lyric without no problem. Ever heard of the Grim Reaper? Well, I'm him. Gambling with your stats when you shouldn't be ripping. Stop while you're ahead and then cash your chips in. I trigger the flow, figure the old fact. I glitter with the whiff of a gold link known as a Figaro. I got the will, the skill, give me the bill and intentional slap. Jump back or I'ma kick you in the grill.
Back to the grill again. The grill again.
Check it out.
So here's the truth, tell me if it's possible you wanna kill the clan. Shoot the fans that attract the folk. Got crazy games you know can stop me, but hey, yo, I'm white. I guess my game is hockey. A basketball, football, second pace and poker, and plenty tip, money, cooking, burger, shit. Wait a minute, chill, can't swing. Cause my girl ain't my brother more, now she got the risk. My way, like I'm respecting, so I took the gym, put you on the tree, just like the Keebler. You couldn't beat the back if you had the but so the cause I saw you eating big knuckles with funky knuckles in a crumple chuckle when they play club buckles. Yo, kid, your life is flimsy.